Yes, we made it. We made it. Awesome. Mariadelmar, welcome to Zen Talks. It's a pleasure. It's a
Thank you so
pleasure having you here. Well, I met you and a few months ago back in New Jersey. It was a wonderful experience. You're a poet. You're a magician with videography, with images, and an inner alchemist as well. I love connecting with you with your friends back in the States, and I know for a fact that you have so much to give that I just wanted to come and talk to you about the frameworks that you use, a little bit of your poetry. So tell the community again, who are you, and what led you to be in this place?
Yeah, so it all started when I started my Instagram account, Quotes Del Mar. So I started as a quotes page, but that was my door into poetry and into writing, because at the end of the day, I'm a storyteller, I'm a writer, I'm a novelist. But as I slowly make my way into that world, poetry was calling my heart. And so I hope to write more poetry as the days pass. It's becoming such a learning experience because I did not expect to be writing what I'm writing now. I never expected this in a million years. I just knew that I wanted to be a writer, and it started to come out as the cosmic whisper, like inner child poetry. And so
Love
here
it.
now.
Okay, so you said a cosmic whisper. How is a cosmic whisper to you? How does it appear in your channelings or whenever you're writing or creating?
So the cosmic whisper came to me when I needed it most. I was in a dark place in my life, and it was like the whisper from when I was a child, when I had these stuffed animals. They were my friends. I didn't have friends. And so, wow, that is so loud. Hopefully that's not going to be a problem. But yeah, so they were my stuffed animals who spoke to me. But you know what they were? They were my characters emerging from heart. And so, yes, they were my characters. And and so it came out again when I started Omar, and I was very intrigued by it because it was just coming to me like out of nowhere, like it wasn't from me. And it was not sound or the voice of sadness. It was not the sound of confusion. It was on the opposite, actually. It was the sound of clarity. And I felt very clear when I received these messages of wisdom. That's what it was. Like little point of wisdom, like belief in one, it cannot be seen, it can be heard. When it cannot be heard, it can be sent. Or things like to truly believe means to truly be alive. And so that's cosmic whispers to me.
Yes, and I love that. I love that these whispers are maybe the guiding force into your creativity, into your love. Do you also have maybe other references, other people that you admire that are also poets that also inspire you? Could you tell us about them?
Yeah, thank you. That is such a great question, because my greatest inspirations come from, I think his name is Antoine d'Exupéry. He's a French poet or writer, and he wrote The Little Prince. I also, yes, The Little Prince.
Yeah, I love it.
Are you familiar?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I love that it speaks about not letting go of your dreams. That's really what it is, and how it can transition into becoming your own successful businesswoman, businessman, having your own company. That's what it really translates to me. When you don't give that up, you can make that into a career. And I also like Khalil Gibran.
No, tell me about it.
Khalil Gibran.
Okay, tell me.
So Khalil Gibran, I believe he is Middle Eastern. I want to say Persian, but I'm not exactly sure. He was a poet, much like Shakespeare, where he wasn't given recognition in his time, but he inspired the people around him. And he also had sort of cosmic whisper, where he spoke in ways where it just made sense. The quotes that would come from him, like, make your love not a bond, but an ocean of togetherness that ebbs and flows. And those little anecdotes really spoke to me, because the world is telling me to be all these things, and I found that it just made sense in poetry. So those are definitely my favorite.
Yeah, no, poetry, it can be so extensive. I personally love some poets like InQ. He sometimes does spoken word, but something that really resonated right now with me is a poem by Rumi that I actually put it in my last thesis, because there was this girl that speaks Farsi and speaks Rumi poetry in actual Farsi as it was written. But the translation of one of the poems is, even if the skies are falling fires, I'm just surrounded by sweetness and sweet and sweet. And those little poems, those little phrases, it can encapsulate so much. Imagine, again, just the image of the fire, the stars, everything crashing down, but you surround yourself in like cotton candy and sweet.
Yes. When you said it, I was almost like so surprised that you said it. Like it was just too beautiful to be true, but that's what you said. That
So
is the
I love
beauty.
that part. I love the fact that you're exploring yourself through poetry, but also videography. How those two meet? How are you exploring that essence of?
Well, that's the thing. The more I wrote poetry, the more I was just stepping into my storyteller, the more I wanted to portray what I saw so other people could see what I saw. And so the cosmic whisper, it slowly became into a photo. I wanted to capture the photo, like what the cosmic whisper looks like in real life. And so to me, when you sort of hold it in your hands, because that's almost what happens when it's like you hear it and then it becomes you, and then it helps you, like you see it throughout your day to be reminded. And so I started to be very photographic with it. I would take photos of myself, and I want to do this for others as well, where I take a photo of them that completely encompasses or portrays who they are deep down, and have that sort of cosmic whisper like floating around them with Photoshop. And so it was a photo, and it gets deeper into videography for
Yeah,
sure.
and I love it. How, if you were to say a word or you say the conscious whisper, but for you, if I took a picture of you in all that you are, what would be that word, or what would be that?
Wow, that is such a beautiful question. Truthfully, I am gonna have to go with my favorite quote, which is, to truly believe means to truly be alive. That one was a quote I had on my Instagram caption for the longest time, and it just made sense because believe and be alive like connects, like even just the word for it, terminology of it. And I don't think I would be alive if I didn't believe in the beauty of the world.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, awesome. Love where this is going. But yeah, let's shift gears now, because we now know who we are. We now that know that believing is the most important. But let's get more practical with it. I know you shared with me a powerful framework that involves poetry, involves inner wisdom, involves everything that you're currently doing. Would you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yes, so I had in my heart the deepest desire to write a poetry book, a poetry series, but I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to come out. Sometimes I would compile old poetry from when I was a child, and other times it would just come out randomly. It was a sort of writer's block, actually. I didn't know how to block. So that was definitely a thing that I had to dissect. I made a little podcast episode about it just for myself, and the more I started tapping to the feeling that I wanted to portray. And then the feeling slowly became to, what do I want to feel now? But what do I want to process? And so the moment I started to allow myself process, because that's what we're doing, processing our lives through art, I do think there's two things, like processing and then moving on and building. So I still had to do a lot of process. And that's why the poetry started to come out as the dream memoir.
Yeah.
Like the dream memoir. So the dream memoir to me it's almost like a memory or a reminder of.
No worries, no
Sorry
worries.
about the noise.
Do you have another place that you could go to?
Yeah, is it that loud? Oh my gosh,
A
let me
little
go
bit.
there. Yeah,
A
let's
little
do
bit.
it. I'm
Let's
gonna
let's
move.
reconnect. Let's
Okay.
reconnect. We're here. This is part of the poetry. This is the climb. Yes,
Right?
this
This
is the
is all
climb.
poetry.
This is the
This
dance.
is all art. Yeah, there's just so much here. I'm gonna have to go to Dreamy.
Let's see. So yeah, again, guys, we're talking about poetry in our life, and how my good friend Maria del Mar has now encompassed everything into this dream memoir, and she's gonna tell us a little bit more about that. So please share a little bit more.
Yeah, it's perfect. So I found the perfect spot right now. It's gonna be very quiet. So let me continue by saying that the poetry came to me through my inner child. I had to process my inner child first. And so it started with the dream memoirs, and it being this reminder, this memory that I couldn't let go of because I felt like it was slipping away from me. And it started to become a story. Like it was no longer just quote, it was now a whole story. And I wasn't brave enough yet to write my story in a novel, but I was brave enough to create a story out of poetry, to merge those concepts. And so I wanted to make it very immersive. And it started with the canvas came to us once upon a dream. No, the canvas came to us once upon a hidden web. Neuron with constellation, constellation with neuron, constellation of dream. dreams. We are to be everything we love each time. It whispered into existence. Each rhyme. 'Tis not a crime to have dust bunnies. We must only listen to the chime in midst of studies, in between and talk dreams. So silently as we learn to write and interlace our most wondrous play, our most wondrous canvas. And so it started to come out just like that. And it became like, what is the canvas that I'm talking about? And the canvas was this, like, it's all waiting for us.
Can you
It's
can you
just
speak
here.
a
Like,
little
the
louder
whole
though?
world
Can
is
you
our
speak a
canvas.
little louder? What's this? What's
I didn't know
this
it was
canvas
fun.
about?
So the canvas is just about it being a stage and it being just waiting there for us. No one can take away the canvas, and it representing a blank page or a microphone or an instrument, and how it's just waiting there for us to create upon it. And I had to process that. So that's why it came out as the Dream Memoirs poetry.
And tell me, how does the inner child link with the canvas?
The inner child is the creator of the canvas. And there were all these parts of me that weren't yet developed in my heart, in my soul, in my mind, where it was like this thing of, first, you're building a sandcat as a child. And since I had my sandcat stepped on or taken away, sometimes things happen to us where even just when you're finger painting and then someone comes and takes away your pencil or takes away your paint, So I had to go back to that stuff to only realize that the sandcastle was because I wanted to become an architect, and connecting those two things was essential.
Love it. Yeah, thank you for that. It's really wonderful to see how you're evolving as a creator of your own story. What's the vision from here? Because you say you want to creating poetry. I see that you started collaborating with more people. How do you go about collaborating, and what are your plans in the future? Will those books come out? What would be the first book that comes out? I know I did a lot of questions, so let's start with that one. How do you collaborate?
I collaborate with others by connecting deeply to them. I think that I had already attempted to collaborate with others and it sort of fell apart, and it was like, how do I embody what Walt Disney felt when he grabbed few artistic individuals and created a whole company of that? How does that happen? I would question. And so the more I experienced that and learned the ups and downs of it, the more I realized that the tools are here for us. The talent is here. What we need is foundation and all these things that Dean had been speaking of when he had been on this live. And for that to be implemented on specific individuals that are already doing it, already growing, and how we can grow together and believe in ourselves together to create something bigger.
And I love that idea. What do you consider as a foundation?
For me, the foundation has to be really faced and processed, where it's like you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, why am I not activating? You ask yourself the real questions that need to be asked. Why am I having these blockages? And to be honest about those blockages and to create solutions for them. So we're always going to make mistakes, and mistakes should be encouraged, but then it just takes one solution for you to now open the door and to go through that and continue your path, to stop being blocked and to transverse and transform into a more stable person, where you no longer allow roadblocks to derail you. You have become autonomous when it comes to that, quick to realize, and you don't lose momentum when that happens. You keep on the momentum.
Okay, so being this conscious being with your own foundation, knowing that you are who you are and you have the ability to express yourself, to connect yourself, in which ways would you prefer right now that you're currently doing that co-creation with other people? Because we know that two people have to have this foundation to just connect, but what are ways in which you can reach out to people? Because I might know who I am, but I don't know how to reach you. I don't know how to say the words and connect with you into doing something creative, into doing something magical. And you've done that, because I saw a bunch of collaborations that you just recently did with poetry. So how do you go about mixing two worlds together?
Wow, that is beautiful. I can already think of how you and I would do it, but it comes down to realizing that it's all an energy exchange, and I can provide so much to you. And so if I were to use you as an example, I would actually not attempt to create with you just yet, at least to build, to collaborate, not like directly for a big project, not yet, because there are things I must do first, which is to develop a sort of what you had been asking me that day, a service and what that service looks like. And I pondered this a lot since speaking to you, and it's starting to look like I want to bring the movies to everyone, to anyone, and especially to actors, to people who have so much to say for the world, and to make that a reality. I want to create your movie, your story. And you already being so talented, if and when I further develop this system, that's when videography comes in. That's when cinematography comes in, and I would be able to provide you the movie, and we would collaborate in this sense, and then it would just grow and grow.
Love it. Yeah, and that's the key, I think. It's taking an ability that you know how to do photography, you know how to do biography, and you have your foundation of the cosmic whispers, and you mix the stories together. And the stories is, okay, you tell your story and I portray it. I'm in a way the container to your creation, that is yourself, and or vice versa, because this is so crazy. Everyone has a story. Everyone has magic in them, and the possibility for two people to bond together and explore their own stories breed a third person, fourth person, a fifth person, because creation is multi. It's not 1 + 1 = 3. It's 1 + 1 = 10,000. So there's an unlimited potential for creation. But going back to simple term is knowing what you do. So if you're an actor, you can connect with photographers to share your story with them together. They are in the journey of the photographer. You're in the journey of the actor and appearing into these senses. But it's getting practical into what can you do. And
like combining the talent.
Exactly.
Yeah, if I could say, as a screenplay writer enthusiast, or like starting off with that, I always had this conundrum of like feeling this, I want to say like this impotence of like, wow, I'm gonna have to go to Hollywood to be accepted, and realizing I can just accept myself, and having like I can provide the screenplays for you, for the people I'm working with, and that just being so evolutionary, if I may say. Not having to wait, just having to create, have fun with it, and keep it going, not giving up.
Thank you, Mariadelmar. And I would love for people that are watching, because all of us have gifts. How could they start a practical step, like one tiny step they can do in terms of their own creative evolution that has worked for you, and you've seen that's worked for others?
So I've seen that it has worked for others when it comes to systems. So you want to start learning of the systems that work for others and then doing it better. So there is this taboo of like, you're not allowed to copy, but it's not because you would grab it word by word. It is because you are looking at it, absorbing it, grabbing inspiration from it, and then making it completely new in your own word. But it is a part of you, because we're all a part of each other. And so to not shy away from the things that resonate with you, and then to experiment, and slowly you do create a system and make sure it's an ecosystem, a symbiotic relationship with the world.
Yeah, in another way to put it is, get inspired and try to replicate first, in a first level, what is that got you inspired of that. If it's a painting, do the painting. If it's a song, try to play that same song. But eventually, by practicing, you'll learn the technique, and then you're just honing at it.
Yeah.
Would you consider mentorship as a good solution for getting what you love? Do you have any mentors?
Yes, actually, I was going to bring up Dean. He's my mentor. He's my dream coach, actually, and I consider you also a coach to me. And it's been incredibly invigorating how you ask the right questions that are unique, because Dean can ask me certain questions or help me see certain things, but you provide your own systems and your own methods to it, and it has helped me even be able to be on this live right now. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do it without your mentorship.
Showing up. Awesome.
Yeah.
I know that we have so much more love and creation to give. There will be more of this conversation. But to start off, guys, thank you so much for watching. Apply the creativity, get inspired, and try to replicate what you already see. Maybe that's a start. And if you already have something, just keep on doing it and share it in other ways. Collaborate. Maria Del Mar asked me to, okay, how can we collaborate? How can we show up in the life? And her creativity, her poem connect with mine. So super grateful for your time. Super grateful for your energy. I would love to keep seeing more of your poems, more of your art in your specific way. And yeah, blessed be every single day.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. There's so much more coming. I thought I was gonna go for the cherry on top, but it seems like the cherry on top needs more work, and it's gonna come out when it needs to come out, you know? But I've already thought about everything that is gonna make this
Have a wonderful day, Maria del Mar. Can't wait to see you. Please share, guys, if this was valuable, and put in the comments what is your art. Would love to hear more. Okay? Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm gonna save
Thank
and send
you.
it.
Talk to you later.